Good day. Today I'd like to talk about oxalates and electrolytes. I think in large part because I personally have been experiencing a lot of electrolyte issues, I believe. And I think they are all, or not all, mostly related to oxalates and the way oxalates interact in the bloodstream with electrolytes and how they affect electrolytes in the blood. And a lot of this is hypothetical based on a thought experiment that I've been taking myself through and how I see the flow of oxalates in the body. So, for example, if you are on a 100% carnivore diet, I do believe that after a while, oxalates will start dumping from various places around the body. Basically, oxalates being in different forms. When in the water soluble form, they're almost the size of a water molecule, basically can be stored in almost any tissue or organ of the body. A lot end up in bone marrow, may end up actually in the fat cells, I believe in the abdominal region. And on a carnivore diet, these oxalates, which may be in a crystalline form, which is usually the calcium oxalate form of the oxalate, now need to be converted into the water soluble form, which is either the sodium and potassium oxalate. In order to convert from the calcium oxalate form to the sodium or potassium oxalate form, the oxalate actually has to combine with sodium or potassium in the bloodstream or in the interstitial fluid, which is the tissue that surrounds cells. And as it combines with all these electrolytes, it actually reduces the level of sodium and potassium in the blood. That leads to these electrolyte imbalances, which can cause all kinds of symptomatology. The most known, I think, in the carnivore sphere is the muscle cramping. And it's a big problem. Most carnivores experience muscle cramping, and I do believe in large part it may be due to this oxalate effect that I'm talking about here. So, for example, in the bone, you may get a large store of calcium oxalate crystals. As it slowly weeds away the calcium oxalate into sodium oxalate in the blood, the sodium in the bloodstream will then decrease and create symptomatology around that. Therefore, I think it's important to deal with this oxalate dumping problem. And another reason why one should try to remove oxalates from the body as soon as possible, I believe, obviously without harmful effects. So it's important to make sure you're taking enough salt with your diet. to combat the effects of sodium oxalate as it removes sodium from the bloodstream. It's important to make sure you get enough potassium in your diet, which is a little confusing because when eating meat, I mean, almost every cell contains a large volume of potassium and essential elements. So it's kind of tricky. And I think overall, it's just a matter of removing the oxalates in general from the bloodstream and from the body as soon as possible. That's probably why I'm so focused on my protocol and making sure that it works, because I think this is an essential ingredient in the path to curing body illness through the carnivore diet. Well, I just wanted to get my thoughts out there on media. I'm curious to hear what other people think about this. Any comments, any questions, any ideas? I think we all should be working together to a healthier future. Thanks for listening.